Are we live? Hello. Oh, I'm not watching on Twitch. I'm on YouTube. Come to YouTube.
My mic closed this whole time.
Oh
You you guys. So I was just saying that Orders VA actually was here earlier, and she comes in all like, "Hey, it's like 4 a.m. here," and I'm like, "What are you doing awake? What's?" But then and then he was like, "Yeah, coin," and just like hangs up immediately.
no.
I just died like right there. I'm like, Skylar, Skylar is a fun one.
Should we
Yeah.
talk about Twitch again being busted since you were
Well,
muted
yeah,
or
yeah, 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 yeah. I was saying like Twitch is a little busted right now. It looks like the live stream bitrate is unstable and I have no idea how to fix that. So, sorry Twitch
that's
people. It looks like YouTube stuff is good though.
okay. Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks good on my end.
Hi, Kaylin. We do not hear you if you are speaking.
Is my mic okay?
Yeah, your mic is good.
Okay, cool.
All right, let's see if I can get this whole thing to stop on my end.
Yeah, it's working now.
I am. Y'all caught me right in the middle of actually editing another song that I work on
Ooh.
Ooh.
for another. If anybody here is into electro swing, and I remember you. It's called Kid. Don't think I don't see you, super sleepy cat. Don't think I don't see you.
Yeah, they've been every video I post are just like gets,
Yeah, yeah, they really love bread.
and specifically throwing it at you in particular.
Exactly,
Oh.
exactly.
Hi, I can't read. My eyesight is so bad. Okay, I think I saw Dewey, Demi,
There was a there was a
the
Demi here.
Gorgon,
There was a
Demi the
Demi the
Rainbow
Rainbow
Gorgon.
Gorgon. Yes.
Oh yeah, well we're gonna be here for about 2 hours. Hour two we're gonna have the special guest, so that'd
I'm
be
gonna just
fun.
pretend you're not here, super sleepy cat. I'm gonna just pretend you're not for my own sanity. I mean, I know I'm the element of chaos, but even then, there's only so much. There's
There's
only
only
so
so
much
much.
chaos that I can handle.
There's levels to this.
There's levels to
Yeah,
this.
there's
Yeah.
this level to this. I don't even know how, but where I'm at on the west coast, it's snowing right now.
It's snowing here too.
It's snowing
It
over
was
here
raining
too.
yesterday, and then it was sunny.
We had full spring for the past week, which is always happens every year here in Canada, where like in March it suddenly gets super warm and everybody's like, "Yeah, spring is here." They start going out, no jackets. The next week, freezing.
That sounds about right.
Fall spring happens every year and we always fall for it.
And then it snows in March.
Ooh, Max is drawing fan art. It's fun.
Come on,
Ooh.
Z. Come on, Z. Don't join in on
Max
this.
Max actually makes a lot has a lot of fan art in the. If this is the same person, I think it is because
Oh,
Max05 is pretty specific.
oh Lord.
But they make a lot of fan art in the the server, and that's so cute. Oh my god, I I
That's
have
amazing.
I have shown your fan arts to like the people in the studio, and they all love it. By the way.
It's so inspiring seeing like Dubs and Crows like impacting people already.
Yeah. Well, like it's already impacted my life in particular, not like in the way you think like, oh yeah, it's like my first like rodeo sort of thing, but more
Right.
like oh, how can you join the DNC server? In the link in our YouTube bio, there's a link tree. In the link tree, you can find the Doves and Crows server. But what was I saying? Right. So the thing is, Sam, so this is going to be on topic because Epilepsy Awareness Month and our special guest. But essentially, like I started it because my brother, as a young kid, he had epilepsy and he grew out of it. But I was like, oh, uh, Sam kind of like originally like reminded me of that, so I wanted to
Oh,
do that. But originally he wasn't going to have epilepsy anymore. But I was like, you know, it's kind of like a cop out, you know. I
yeah.
want to learn more, and that's where our special guests come in. I reached out to them and I uh I asked them about epilepsy and they taught me so much. And anyway, I became kind of like uh
What about me?
knowledgeable in epilepsy, and at the same time one of my good friends ended up developing epilepsy.
What about hey,
Like,
what about me?
well, yes, you too. You also helped a lot, especially specifically in like how we're gonna depict epilepsy in the show, like seizures. But yeah, no, my friend like what maybe like halfway through last year started getting seizures, and like
Oh.
yeah, it was
And
really ironic
if
in a way.
if it's anything like what I experienced, is basically Bruce Lee kicking you in the back of the head.
Basically,
Uh,
Oh.
yeah,
this
it
shit hurts. This shit
was.
hurts.
It wasn't specifically because epilepsy is so like not like there's not a lot of awareness of it that like I immediately recognized them as like seizures. We went to the ER because it's the first time they've ever had like a cluster of seizures, and they were just like, "That doesn't look like a seizure to me," and I was like, "Yeah, that was a very frustrating time." Uh, I ended up texting you that day, I think, Kaylin. I'm like, "Hey, so what's between passing out and seizures?" Just like double check me if I'm wrong here,
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure they're seizures. And anyway,
it's
yeah.
it's hard because both look like going to
Hmm.
sleep.
Yeah.
It's for me. It's just like the I only have to rely on the situation. Like
Hmm.
if I'm if I'm at the store and I'm about to go to sleep, it's like, oh no, this is definitely not happening.
Hmm.
But it's also the feeling of deja vu. It's the
Yeah.
it's like the defining factor.
Yeah. For my friend, they get like dizzy for like a millisecond before.
Yep. And everyone I don't know if the I don't know what the I don't know what their special guest is going to say, but usually when people ask me what's the worst part of having epilepsy, their eyes often get wider when I say waking up.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. No,
And
I get that. Like after seizure, the after effects of the seizure, it's not great.
well, that's where the Bruce Lee kick comes in because it's your brain firing, it's your brain basically firing a shot to your entire body to try to stabilize it. So you
Mm.
get up and you're dizzy and you're like, what is two plus two? What is fish?
What is fish? Yeah.
You're like, what is fish? What is the meaning of the universe?
What is
Like,
yes. I think I saw somebody ask what is epilepsy again. So epilepsy is a kind of like a, oh my god, I'm blanking, neurological disorder where basically our special guest can explain this a lot better than me, but essentially your brain starts misfiring electrical signals, and this causes essentially, there's like, if I'm remembering off the top of my head, 40 different kinds of seizures, more
Ooh,
than 40. And like
No, you're pretty close.
a
the
lot.
main, yeah, there's a lot. And like the main kind of seizure that people see are tonic-clonics, which is like the full body like shaking and like
That's the one where you're shimmying on the ground.
yeah, basically that one. But that's
That's
not like,
that's the one that's depicted the most.
that's the one that's depicted the most. But there are so many other different kinds of seizures. Like a lot of times people think that epilepsy is just lights as well, just like, oh, lights and you get a seizure on the floor shaking. That's not, that's a specific kind of epilepsy called photosensitive epilepsy, but that's not even the most common trigger. I think the most common trigger is anxiety and lack of sleep
Anxiety, lack of sleep,
Interesting.
and stress.
and stress. Yes.
I'm. I mean, at this point, I'm talking about mine. So it's like at this point,
Yeah, I think it's like
like
mostly.
I see you both in that chat there. Don't think I'm not paying attention.
We are watching fish and
Don't
baguettes.
think I'm
Actually
not paying
sounds like
attention.
good.
Very eagle-eyed.
I've only had baguettes once in my life. You you started the baguette war and you've only had baguettes once in your life.
Big fan.
Gasp, betrayal, the shock, the horror. My gosh. My eyesight is so bad right now. It's like, I'm not sure if it's because my glasses are blurry or just my eyes are blurry. But anyway,
It's all right. It's all right. It's the morning or the afternoon where you are.
it's afternoon here. But yeah, yeah, you guys are going to be so learned on epilepsy after our special guest comes in. She's awesome, by the way. Her name's Carly. She's from Epilepsy South Central Ontario.
Ooh.
Yeah. Bye. Have fun. Have fun at dinner. Have a good dinner.
Well, I guess when you're talking about like the representation and like the different forms of like epilepsy, that makes like doves and crows like even more important because like
Mm,
it like helps normalize like these different kinds of like epilepsy, and it can might even like push people to like see like, oh, I see like, maybe my friends like do that sometimes, and maybe it might
mhm.
encourage them to like do more research.
Yeah, yeah. Especially because one of like the most like slept on, like not slept on, but like under like goes under the radar kind of seizures is called absence seizures, which are basically like 9-second seizures that look like somebody's daydreaming.
Mm. See, I didn't know
And
that. I don't know a lot about epilepsy, so.
yeah, yeah. So like that was kind of the hope because like Resilibee itself is, if you guys didn't already know from our just gonna take my glasses off. If you guys didn't already know, um Resilibee is kind of like a studio dedicated to representing, normalizing, and destigmatizing disability. And so that's kind of where epilepsy comes in, as because epilepsy is kind of like very stigmatized. Um,
Yeah.
Honestly, if I think about it, like any any show that has epilepsy in it, the only one I can think of off the top of my head is Teen Wolf, and that's the character Erica. She gets cured of it by becoming a werewolf.
Ah,
Yeah,
that kind of sweeps it under the rug, doesn't
yeah,
it?
it does. And I was like,
Woo!
Skylar,
So when you
what
say
do you?
stream,
I've just told everybody you went to sleep.
been a long day. I cannot sleep.
Okay.
Good
Well,
thing.
welcome to the stream. Hey, everybody, this is Order. She is an awesome voice actor, and
I'm
he
I'm
does
Ordler.
voices. He's
I'm
Ordler.
Ordler. I'm Lur and I voice Ord.
Hello, hello,
The
ordinary.
sleep
Hey,
deprivation is very
it's
evident.
5:14 a.m. in my current time zone.
Oh no.
Hmm.
I can't say anything because like anybody in this in the anybody here in like the Doves and Crows server or even in just like the Resilibee server themselves knows I'm awake almost all the time.
Yeah.
You just gotta ping Piff and they'll be there.
Yeah, sleeps for the week. Yes, you better not be signing with the evil rich chaos VA. No. Evil
Why the
wretched chaos
why
VA.
the why the baguettes? I don't understand.
Why the baguettes? Oh, because Super
I
Sleepy
started
Cat
this.
started that. Um,
Why? Super Sleepy Cat, why?
Super Sleepy Cat just like started throwing digital baguettes at Kaylin, Mr. Game and Audio, right?
Why?
Oh my god, this is so hard to do. There.
I don't
And
I don't understand.
poor
Very
Chaos's
fun.
voice
I'll
actor
eat them all. I love eating baguettes.
I don't know. I can't remember the last time I've had a baguette, if
had a
any.
baguette.
I ate an entire one today in the span of like an hour.
Nice.
Nice. Well, it
Yummy.
looks like you're on baguette side.
Yeah. Yummy.
Yummy.
You sound so tired.
He does sound so tired.
I
I'm so
I had a
tired.
very stressful day, okay?
Oh.
Oh my gosh, um let me
Still a little jaded.
let me let me tell you guys about this time where Skylar jump scared me. Uh
I do that sometimes.
yeah, essentially we were chatting and Skylar has the most amazing range ever. And we were talking, and then suddenly what's that meme? The one with like, there's nothing like a Bel Air, like a
Oh,
something
nothing
direct
beats a Jet 2 holiday.
to holiday. That
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday, and right now you can save £50 per person.
You
Skylar,
can
by the way.
save
That's amazing.
We
you
Oh
need to
can
my
start
save
a
god.
fifty
competition
pounds per
now.
person.
Yeah, yeah, that was Skylar, by the way. That was recording. That was Skylar saying
Nothing
that.
beats a
Yeah.
Jet 2 holiday.
That was
You could
awesome.
save 50 pounds per person.
If I keep doing funny voices, I might wake Weenie up. I gotta be careful.
Okay. we shall we shall chill.
You could just turn we
The
can just
brain
turn
rot has
that
started.
into we can just somehow turn that into a metal beat.
Well, well,
52 pounds per person.
well, you
Maybe
did
a
say you
guitar
were
hero
doing
as
like
well.
a electro swing thing earlier, right? That's
I do
awesome.
know, like, an
I
actual
am. I am.
professional, like, metal vocalist.
We did not know this. What?
I know a
There
lot of
is
voice actors with a lot of varying talents.
there are metal
Wow.
vocalists. Yes,
Um,
that is a specific
there
type
are.
of voice you need to develop because that shit can hurt.
I
Oh,
only
sorry.
know one of them, and he's fucking cracked.
Like that stuff can
Sorry, am
hurt.
I allowed to say that word? I'm sorry.
I think it's fine. Just try to keep it as PG as possible, but
I'm so sorry. I'm tired.
we can
Um,
tell.
I've
We
heard
can
in the
tell.
re-upload.
I'd act less tired, but then I'd get louder, and I don't want to wake Weenie up, so...
Hmm. Oh my gosh! I just saw something like we have to have order like saying the Jet 2 holiday thing, just like order's original
Nothing
voice,
beats a Jet 2 holiday.
and then just like immediately
And
like
right
the
now, you can get up to 50 pounds per. You can save up to.
I thought I was supposed to be the chaotic one.
You are so tired. Oh my gosh.
I'm not made for the commercial business, I'm afraid.
Let me take over, okay? Welcome to a Jet 2 holiday. You could save about 50 pounds per person. I'm not necessarily sure. The price can get a little chaotic sometimes. Look, anyway, you can just get on the jet. I couldn't even.
Folding into nonsense. All right.
It's like, welcome to
Charging
the Jet 2 holiday. You could save 50
50.
pounds. I don't know.
You figure it out.
You'll figure it out. Just get
You'll
on the
figure it out.
plane.
Gets that
I see the
chaos.
baguettes. The
All
Super
right.
Sleepy Cat is not stopping.
It's not stopping,
Neither is
no.
neither is ZX6J. Wait.
There's a lot of them throwing baguettes at you.
Mm.
Right.
Did,
Hey, throw
did
some
someone
my
say?
way. I want some. They're yummy.
Did Z? Did you suggest a goofy voice? Welcome to a Jet 2 holiday.
Super Sleepy Cat's like, it's not me! I swear! Chaos gave halfway and went to get a drink. I shall strike when you least expect it. So when you're sleeping tonight, Kaylin,
Me?
uh,
Oh,
Kaylin, when you're
Mm.
sleeping tonight, just be prepared for a bunch of baguettes to like slam into you.
a
Oh my god, I
nightmare.
was about to say croissants again. Like the other
Nightmare.
after the other live stream we did, I'm just like, or afterwards I'm like, "Yeah, here's a croissant," and everybody was just like, "You mean baguettes?" I'm like, wrong French bread. But yeah,
So yeah, when I go to sleep, just expect a bunch of baguettes to be slammed into me.
yeah, basically
Where
that is.
where are they from? I was on a stream.
I was on a stream.
I was on a stream. Someone wouldn't stop throwing bagels. That aren't these baguettes? I don't know. I'm just trying to get some sleep.
Oh yeah, we are halfway to 10K subs.
Oh yeah, look at that.
We reached 5K like a couple days ago, weeks ago, a week. I don't know. Time is a blur for me right now, but we did reach
Why?
it. It's
I'm paying attention to the chat.
Slime.
Why?
yeah. So that's been awesome. Actually, we've been doing pretty well like across our social medias, and it's been pretty fun. Like I know I'm basically posting like the same stuff over and over, but we are working on stuff in the background. Like we are going to be starting actual animation for this month.
It is
Yes.
an indie animation that you've just stumbled upon on your feed for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, anyway, I guess we can answer questions while we're here. I know I did just like rant about epilepsy for like the first half of this.
Well, that's fine. It's good to spread awareness.
My wig, my most valuable asset. My
I was
God, that
gonna take
reminds
that a
me of
different way, but I am trying to be very kid friendly. I guess. I don't know the ages of the people looking at the stream, so I'm just gonna keep my humor to
There
a
could
minimum.
be
welcome
someone
back.
that is only 3 apples tall in chat, and you could never know.
Oh
There's
my
a
gosh.
difference between 3 apples tall order and being age 3.
Orders
Now
like,
watch
how do
the
these
wolf
human
fight
things
this
work?
out.
That doesn't. That should be the same thing logically in an orderous world.
Yes,
How
super
the heck?
sleepy cat. That is exactly what I was thinking.
How
Bald
the heck
Piff.
do I know this?
Chaos is bald. Chaos is bald. It's scarring everyone who has hair.
It all makes sense now.
It all makes sense now. This is the real reason why chaos was sealed, by the way. This is 100% truth.
I didn't like looking at the back of his big bald head.
The glare was too intense.
The
My
glare
eyes!
causing too much chaos.
Old.
Had to put them in a little. Well, actually, no. I don't know how they were. I don't know like anything about the plot.
Oh shit.
Kalen's beak is back. Oh no.
Don't
Yes, it
fucking
fucking is.
don't beep at me, pal.
Perfect April Fools. What is the perfect April Fools? Bald.
Is it being
Oh,
three apples tall?
being three apples tall.
Is it only being three apples tall? I will have you know that I was once a crow statue that was more than three apples tall. I had to have at least been 8, maybe 16.
I love
Should
how
have
we're
said being a statue. That's less chaotic. Or if you should have done that forever.
I wouldn't have known. You wouldn't have known too. Weren't you a statue?
I don't know. I don't know the plot. We've been over this.
Give him the script.
Let's
Give him the
just
script.
let's give him
You
the
guys, you
script.
guys probably all know like way more about the project than me. I know Order and Chaos. I know
Don't worry, it's mostly
Mia and
Mia.
let's
Sam. Is that their names? Is
Yes,
that the name of
Sam.
the kids? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
let's just stick to the script and talk about having Jet 2 holidays, okay?
And that's like 5 apples.
I think that's one of
I love
those
we're
for sure.
measuring things in apples now.
The, I don't know who's starting this. Now we're at apples. There was a broke accent there.
Broke accent there.
we're at we're at baguettes. Now we're at apples.
They've got to be
What
at
have you
least
done?
52 pairs tall.
52.
No,
Now it's
don't
pears.
name other fruits.
We're gonna have all the food groups.
Yeah, we
Don't
need
name other fruits.
don't name other fruits.
You'll only encourage them.
I have an Uma Moose in my profile picture. Me, I like my pony. My pony, my horse.
Very American measurements, apples. You're not wrong. Apples are
I hate
very
that you're right.
A true American measurement would be bald eagles and a Ford Mustang. Yeah.
and a Ford Mustang. Okay.
A Ford Mustang and and 3 guns.
Oh
So
no. We've got like over here just like 3 cervigooses wide and Canadian geese tall.
Eating geese.
Or likes
Crow
ponies
tall.
true. I guess it has to be canon now that Skylar likes ponies.
And horse. I think ponies are just. I already think that horses are just really funny looking creatures. But then you get like a pony, it's just a horse, but like with really tiny legs. It's just like the stupidest thing to ever exist. How did they make these? This is incredible.
It is silly, isn't it?
At least 2 refrigerators long. Yes, we we have gone from food groups to objects. Anyway, any questions from the peoples
Any
while we're
From
here?
any
the gallery,
questions? Any
from the
questions
audience.
that aren't about food groups?
That aren't about food groups. Came back. What did I miss? You missed Skylar's here now. Sleep deprived.
Hello, hello.
And
We had some funny order and chaos moments.
yeah,
That's
basically
about it.
that's about it.
That's about it.
We're just like here chilling and chatting.
Chilling and chatting.
So,
Chilling and
like Biff
chatting.
said earlier, does
Chilling
anybody
and
have any
chatting.
questions that
Yeah.
aren't about food groups?
That aren't about food groups or baguettes. Well,
Exactly.
baguettes is a food group. Am I suggesting that baguettes is its own thing? Huh. Sorry. Brain burn there. But we want to ask about baguettes. Shall it take for everyone to go to France and actually pelt a baguette at chaos?
What?
30 billion baguettes? Animation
I
is
said
Let's
not.
vote
expensive.
on this.
I'm
I
telling
said
you,
not
too
about.
chaotic. Get rid of those. Go away.
Uh, I thought we said nothing. We said.
This is holy. Max has joined the baguette. I assume now is a holy war of baguettes.
This is going nuts.
Yeah. So I guess oh, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something earlier when you guys were like, "Oh, we don't know the thing." Yeah, because like the writer team consists of me and Levi, and we did actually plot the entire like series, like season 1 and 2, which is what it's gonna be two
Right?
seasons of a show, and we plotted the entire thing, and now I am rewriting episode 1 to be better. Because I had written an episode 1 before, but it just was not to my standard of liking. So I am rewriting that currently. What else? I did mention that we are starting animation for our proof of concepts this month.
Yes.
Um, those proof of concepts are the trailer and the theme song.
Ooh.
Um,
Ooh.
we actually have well, no voice actors, singers who are who are working on the theme song right now. What can we expect next from the show? Such what parts are you currently working on? So what we're doing right now is we're making proofs of concepts. So essentially, this is the idea of the show. We're going to show you the idea, and then hopefully fundraise from there to get like to get funding to actually do like episode works. So like in a way we're not actually going to do a pilot episode. It's more like we're going to do like the teaser trailer. We're going to show you what like it is like that, and then we're actually going to make episode 1, not just like this will be like a show of what the episode will be, and like no, it will be an actual episode 1. I'm not sure if that was confusing or not, but yeah, the other thing we're making is a theme song, and it's going to be fully animated too, and it's really cool. Like I don't think Kaylin or Skylar have heard the theme song, but it's
I
really
have.
good.
Have not.
I have not heard it. I have not
I've
heard it
heard
at
it. It's
all.
very good.
It is so catchy. Oh my god.
I have not heard it at all.
I can show you guys later. I cannot show you guys though.
Secret.
Hmm.
Shh.
Secret.
Keep the secrets.
I'm keeping the theme song stuff secret so you guys have something new to see along with what we already showed you of like the teaser trailer.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, what can we expect? Do you intend making voice acting in other languages? Well, we were reached out to by some dubbing companies, but like at the moment I cannot get somebody Super Sleepy Cat, that's your job.
I ain't got no money. I ain't got
Dubbing
no
would be
car. Can't
something
take
for
you on a
like
date.
But
that
yeah,
would
what was I?
be mm,
What I was saying, and I forgot what I was saying. What was the question? Voice acting in other languages.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So, we had like we were going to do like with a Ukrainian place, but like I recently hit like a really bad health 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 a bad health thing in my life, and so I don't have the bandwidth for that at the moment, but hopefully in the future when we have actual episodes we will do like other languages and stuff. There is going to be subtitles mostly because like we are here for like
Like inclusivity.
inclusivity and stuff. Yes, thank you. And yeah. There was how many baguette missiles? So what is like the baguette joke? Essentially, Super Sleepy Cat one day was just like, "Gonna throw baguettes at you," and then at our first live stream, actually did
They
just
threw a
like
baguette at me.
they threw a baguette at Chaos
They threw a
at
baguette at
Kaylin,
me.
and Kaylin threw one back, and now it became a war.
Very rude.
Very rude. Yes.
Now we are at war. They say that in the late animatic thing.
How did
Yeah.
this become a holy war? What kind of land are we even taking over?
Jeez. Oh no.
What kind of land are we taking over?
But yeah.
This-
That's the baguette jokes. Everybody's just throwing baguettes because they love us. Yes, that's why.
It was funny.
that's literally all it is. People just started pelting
Yeah,
with baguettes.
yeah. It
That's
started
literally
with
all
one
it
person,
is.
and that's literally all it is. But yeah,
And that's why I keep telling Super Sleepy Cat, I'm watching you. Like-
inclusiveness
Red
is
down.
awesome.
it's like I'm watching you.
Yeah, they say to this day, chaos still fears baguettes. Yes.
I fear getting pelted by them. It's not. They're not soft pieces of bread.
They're pretty hard, yeah.
I have no
Solid.
fear. I can just munch and munch on them. Very yummy.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had good choppers.
You didn't know you had good chompers.
I put them on a plate with a fork and a knife, and I dig in because that's the
I'm not sure if you're referring to
the
the
orderly.
chompers that you're putting on the plate or if like you
No,
put the
no, no,
baguette on
no.
the plate.
The baguette goes on the plate, and I dig in with my knife and my fork because that's the orderly
Oh,
way to eat a baguette. Yes.
oh,
That's all we
okay. So you use one of those. You use those fancy weird metal things. Okay.
Proper
I
meal
just
eating. Yes.
look. I just rip it in half and just eat it. I like that's just the chaotic way of doing it. You
Hashtag
just
not very orderly of you.
you just rip it. You just rip it apart and eat it.
Hashtag.
You just rip it apart and eat it. That's just how you do it. I mean, that's how everybody does it, right? You just
Hmm.
kind of break it
So
in half with
so
you
uncultured.
you break it in half over your knee and then just eat it. Just-
No, no, no.
I don't think you
It's like a
I
plank of wood.
I don't think you even knew where you were going with that. Yeah, break it over your knee.
That's like concrete. That's like solid, solid.
So the baguettes I'm eating apparently are bricks.
No wonder you're so terrified of them.
Right. Right. They're apparently bricks.
Apparently bricks, yeah. So what was that voice? Let me just like scroll back through the chat, see if anybody asked a question. Um
Other than other than this talk of baguettes,
other than taco baguettes, yeah.
come on, have some questions, folks.
We think they're just they've been stuffed with baguettes. Their
Why must they
brains are
do this to
baguettes
me?
now.
Why must they do this to me?
We gotta give them like baguette merch or something. Gotta give the people what they want.
Yes, we have to make baguette merch now. Cause like just like have like a little chaos keychain, and then like one of those like dangly bits of the keychain of the acrylic chain is like a baguette.
That'd be cute.
Who are British here? Not British, but most of us are Canadian in the studio. inspired the current character designs. I really love them. Oh, so yeah, well, the old style was what inspired the current character designs, but yeah, we kind of we we
Yeah,
here, let me.
is it just like was it like kind of based off like Spork's like original art style, or do you think
Oh
they
no, it's because our
like
original art director was TD, but
oh,
TD she got like super busy, and so she wasn't able to like give us like a style guide for like the whole thing, her style,
right.
because it was essentially just her style
Are we
and
talking about the old or the new art style?
the old the old art
Oh,
style.
okay, okay, got it.
And so we had to like change course and make some adjustments. We have also like figured that like at the same time we could fix some of the problems we had with movements. 'Cause, like Chaos's boa was honestly beautiful, but really hard to make movements happen with the arms. And just like for like sake of consistency we needed rules and stuff and like that. So for the past 2 3-ish months we've been working on a style guide with rules and stuff. And I think the most changes were in Chaos and Sam, to be honest. Oh, and Order.
Yeah.
Order, we call him Square Order now. uh he's built like a brick. uh But yeah, Mia's costume is a lot different. She's less designed based off ballet and more like ribbon dancing.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so she has like these little ribbon tails, and it kind of mimics Order's own like dovetails of his coat.
Yeah. That's cool.
And then Sam's costume had like a complete takeover as well because somebody somebody who knows about Order's cake. It's his
Hey, what?
sure what your you have a chastity code. Oh my god, no, let's not say that.
What?
You have
No.
something to cover your cake now, so people don't ogle at it anymore.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Um, yeah, and Sam, we love Sam's hat. I loved it, but oh my god, it was so hard. It was so
It's a
hard
very
to.
complex shape.
It's. I don't think I skip a video you post. Okay. Orders cake. We still need to make part 2 of that one, but
Yes, you do.
yes, you do. But I was saying something. Oh yeah, Sam's hat. I loved it, but it was a monstrosity trying to draw that thing in
It
perspective
was
and
very
keep it.
complex.
It was beloved, but it deserved its death. Yeah. So we do. I'm gonna plug in the newsletter, but we do have a newsletter now that I'm gonna like show off the new stuff, the new styles.
Has the fan base seen the new designs yet, like in the Discord or anything, or
The
is this
Discord,
just
yes. The everybody else, no.
ooh.
So exclusive content, Discord.
Yes, let's plug that in. Go to the Discord
Go to the
for more
Discord.
information.
Speaking of exclusive content, did someone just join the call?
Did somebody join the
Yes,
call?
hi.
Oh, Morgan!
Hi, exclusive content. I'm Skyler.
Exclusive content, I'm Skylar. Newsletter time. Yeah, we have a newsletter. You can sign up for it. I'm probably gonna post it either today or tomorrow, depending on my energy levels. But yeah, if you sign up, you get a free art with it, and it's really cute. Wait, let me actually show you guys what you guys are getting this month. Let me
Hopefully,
find
it's
it
nothing
first.
baguettes related. Stupidly, I'm watching you.
Something very baguettes related.
Something very baguettes related. Okay, let me uh niche.
Again,
Hmm.
please don't ask anything about baguettes.
Do they
It's
talk
just
about
gonna.
that a lot in the Discord server too, or is it just like
No,
on
it's just
YouTube?
YouTube. YouTube gang are obsessed with baguettes.
It's like YouTube and Twitch.
Shouts to the two people in the Twitch chat.
Okay,
Basically.
here you go. This is what you guys are getting for this month's newsletter.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's a wallpaper.
nice.
Let's take ibuprofen together.
Oh, I took ibuprofen later, earlier, later, earlier. My
Right
brain is
now.
bad, but yeah,
My brain is sleeping, yes.
yeah. Holy portal. Yeah, you guys are getting that for free with your email newsletters, which you can find in the link in our YouTube description. You can find that. The art is so pretty. Yes, Valen made that. I think they go by Silver Ink Studios on their socials. So if you like that art, I'm gonna plug plug in
It's a
Valen.
pretty expensive ink.
But yeah,
It's made of silver. Wow.
yeah, but yeah. This was made by Valen for our March newsletter. Crow is a cutie.
Friends.
Alright. So we have 20 minutes before our special guest comes in.
I'm
Um,
scared.
bagel,
I,
not
who's the
bagels.
special guest?
The special guest.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Let's go back around to the finish the circle. Um,
Recap.
recap for the people who just joined. What shall be the official doesn't crow? Well, we just called DNC.
Are those bagels?
It always comes back to bread.
Oh.
we always use DNC for the when we're like talking about it inside the studio, just because like Doves and Crows can take a lot to type.
Um, well, at least something about inclusivity.
Inclusivity,
Oh,
yes.
these
Thank you.
bagels.
Reminding me to go back. I am so all over the place, but um so we have a special guest today from Epilepsy South Central Ontario. Her name is Carly, and she's gonna pop up in chat up in like a couple minutes, like 10 minutes or so. And we're gonna be talking about epilepsy and epilepsy awareness and just like what is epilepsy and all that stuff because of if you don't know already, our one of our main characters, Sam slash Crow, um, the little guy with the goggles and the hat. Um,
yeah. Sorry, I think this is my sign to leave
oh, okay.
and go to sleep finally because no, not anything you said. I didn't hear any of the last things you said because my headphones just died. They're about to
Oh,
freaking
yes.
Oh,
die.
Go to
So
sleep.
let's
sleep
Go to
Oh,
well.
sleep,
go to
Skylar.
good
sleep.
night.
Good
I'll,
night.
Enjoy your epilepsy or whatever.
I'll, att- I'll attempt to handle things from here. I don't necessarily know if I'll do very well given given the bagel war going on right
what we
now.
did. Please do not check the chat properly. And now I need to check the chat
It's
properly.
all bread.
It's all
It's the
bread.
bread conspiracy. Don't
Check
worry
chat.
about it.
Oh my gosh, bread conspiracy. Art is so pretty. Yes, the art is so pretty. But what is happening? You guys all bread.
Wait, is this seriously bread?
It's all the bread. Yeah, so Night Skylar, I think he's gone already, but she was a nice addition to the stream. Um anyway, I was saying something about epilepsy and I don't remember what.
Just like what we're gonna talk about with the guest speaker.
Yes, guest speaker. Um yeah, she's the essentially the youth empowerment person for the
Something in Ontario. Uh,
you notice that my brain is like so off right now, but
my memory's shot too.
um she's the youth empowerment person for the the whole nonprofit organization. I will not ask what it is, actually. We can animate, we put chaos to the bread song. Oh wait. We that would let me actually check names because I'm bad at remembering. I have so many names to remember that I'm. But let me look at introductions and think that is uh
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you
Cress,
have like an
right?
email?
From it might be Cress from like from Discord maybe.
Hmm.
Please do not ask. Do not ask. Do not ask. Please. The bread song. Yeah. Oh god. Okay. So, I am going to start setting up setting up the talk with Carly. But oh my gosh, very rushed, but oh my gosh. Max, can I show this on stream?
Oh, we got new art.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Go check fan art. Can I show it on stream? No pressure if you don't want it on stream. I just think it's really cute. Sorry, I'm like looking at the art. It's so cute. All right.
What channel is
I'm
it in?
excited.
Yay. Okay, I
Excited.
have permission. I have permission. It's in the fan art one for. I will be showing it right now. Let me just save the image. Import image here. Make source visible. Uh-huh. Oh my gosh, so big. Okay.
Ooh, the suspense is killing me.
This suspense is killing me too. Oh god. Okay, I think that's good. And order being a tired service worker essentially gets
Oh, well,
so cute.
Aw.
Sleep deprived. I love it
I
so
love the eye
much.
bags. Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm gonna send this to Matt Skylar for
I
this.
love it. And
But
the little
yeah. And
pony.
a little oh my god, I didn't notice the pony. So cute.
He is very cute, but also I have felt that feeling before. Like
Oh,
the circles under his eyes. I've had that before. I can relate.
I mean, my eyes
yeah.
just naturally look like that. It's just part of being black. Unfortunately, I've got big eyes. I've got big old eyes.
Stop staring at me with them big old eyes.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, guys.
Love it.
Quick, cause a distraction while I figure out how to set up our special guest.
Okay. Chat.
Are there any
Tell
new
us
questions?
your. Ooh, you go first.
Oh, I'm just wondering if there's like questions, stuff that I missed. New people that have come in and have like something to ask. I don't know.
It was mostly the bread stuff.
The cult that is forming. It's okay, I pretend I do not see it.
Lot of
Because
bread.
it
I'm
makes me
scrolling up
hungry every
chat
time.
right now.
I'm just not sure I understand.
Since he accidentally made the baguettes holy.
What I did? What do you mean
Them.
I did?
It's the vibes.
Bread cult. Yeah. Everybody, welcome to Bread Cult. That is YouTube.
What do you mean I did?
Chat, why don't you tell us your favorite Doves and Crows character? I'm a big fan of Mia.
Tell me your favorite Doves and Crows character, and I can give you a fun fact about them.
Ooh, hey, there you go.
My fun fact about Mia is that she's so cute. I love her until I have to draw her glasses. And then I don't like her anymore. It's the worst.
Sam. Okay, fun fact about Sam. He is technically under house arrest. I'm just
He
gonna leave.
is?
Yeah, he is
Well then,
under quarantine in this
well
ordered
then,
society.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not allowed out of the house without supervision, governmentally. Um, this changes
Imagine
once
being
chaos
this
is
small
released.
and being on house arrest.
Yeah, he's so small and he's like, I can't legally go outside of my house without supervision. Why?
Oh,
Not because of his epilepsy, because he is unpredictable in a world where everything is predictable. They're just like, no, quarantine that.
I didn't want to handle that.
We don't want that in our society.
Put him away.
Put him away. House arrest, essentially. So that's the fun fact for Sam. Let's see. Did anybody else list a character?
We have lots of Sams. We got a Mia, Chaos.
All right. Fun fact for Mia, she is autistic. Not just coded, she actually is autistic. She's based off of me very heavily. Um, oh, did you guys see the Slinky?
Oh, I caught like a glimpse of it.
I, was- I mean, but yeah. So Mia is autistic, and she's part of it. She's based off of me. Actually, like, the whole story is kind of like Mia's like who I am right now, whereas like terrified of change, like stuck in my routines, and Sam is who I want to be, like
Hmm.
free and like able to like
On house
exist
rest.
in the wild and just like be dramatic and outgoing and everything.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's Mia's. Let's go Chaos. What's a fun fact about Chaos? I can't just say they're a statue. Everybody knows that.
I'm not saying anything. Not that I know anything.
um, so Chaos has earrings, and those
We
earrings
know it,
are
baby.
actually feathers, and they are yellow. So I will let you make the connection there of whose feathers those are.
Ooh, intriguing.
Let me give you a hint. Baguettes have nothing to do with it. Neither do bagels.
Yeah, and so question ships. Um,
Why did you
s-
bring that?
so in the show, I there is not going to be shipping between Sam or Mia, at all. To be honest, in the studio, we do see them as more siblings of divorced parents than anything. Um, but there is a situationship thing happening between Chaos and Order. We like to say that they're divorced.
It's complicated.
It's complicated, essentially, but like times a billion. What
Did someone say bagel is technically a question?
else? So I think
I hate admitting that. It didn't take that long and we're already on ships.
we're already on ships. Yeah,
It didn't take long.
That's
it
just the
didn't take long.
fandom way of things.
That is the fandom way of things. What is someone say bagel? Birds are likely to share the show, so technically, once they're on good terms. Mm. Yeah, well, like if it they both. Fun fact for Order, Order also has purple feathers on him somewhere hidden. Oh, hello. Okay. All right. No problem. Did you want to be visible or okay, let me set you up on stream then, and I don't think you're going to be able to hear my other the people in my studio, but I will relay anybody doing that first. Let me just get this window display so we can get you added in. In the meantime, studio people, distraction. um
Bruh.
We're gonna get evaporated.
we're going to get evaporated. Yes. Yes,
We're
if
gonna get
you
evapor. What do
was
you mean we're
that
gonna
the
get evaporated?
was that the evaporation? Just
Uh, I don't even know what's what anymore.
okay,
It's okay, that's how chaos
let's
is.
not
Hey, there you go.
Fair enough.
yay, okay. Let me just
Someone is saying Order has like the feathers in his diary. Oh, it's cat. That's such a fun idea. I like that idea. I think we should give Order a little diary where he's like, "Dear diary, today everyone sucked. Thankfully, I am still in control of the
Today,
universe, so I can fix everything."
all right.
today, everyone sucked.
That's pretty good.
I think that is all ready and set for you. Uh,
It's not too bright in here, is it? I find this overhead light super bright, and then
See our
the
Charlie
lamp
making
is
a great
not bright
voice
enough.
impression.
All right. Yeah, no,
Dear,
it should be
Okay.
good.
dear
My
Tyre,
lighting isn't
still the
exactly the
element of
best.
chaos.
I just don't want
So,
it to like burn anyone's eyes or anything. Because for me, I was like, so it looks so white.
so,
If
There's no
you
like
see anything in the chat
right.
about bagels, just ignore it, please.
all right. So, uh, does everybody hear Carly?
On the stream side, on the Discord side, no, we
Testing,
don't.
testing. One,
But
two,
that
three.
means we also don't have the double sound on the stream.
Yeah, but do you guys see hear her on the stream?
Let me check.
I
You
think
can try headphones with a microphone. I am not the loudest talker. Let me try that. We'll see if this is any better with the
no, because like
microphone close
for me,
to my
like you're
face.
pretty good. So I think
Oh,
it's
okay.
I I think I just need confirmation from the audience and not baguettes.
I heard you.
You heard? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. All
I
right,
can't. I'm not sure if I can
It's a
hear
little
it.
quiet, I'll admit.
Awesome.
a little quiet. Okay, wait, let me bring up. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, so hi, Carly.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
You might want to
Yeah.
move the
I don't
window
think
over
I've ever
there.
been on a stream before, so
There we are.
that's really awesome.
Don't mind
Thank
covering
you
our
for having me. I'm
icons.
so excited to,
Oh, we can't hear them.
talk about epilepsy and your upcoming ventures. I don't know how much the audience knows about
We can't
the
hear you.
character. I'll let you maybe
Maybe I
tell
can't
them more
hear
about
myself.
that. I don't
All
want to
right.
tell you part of the story. Um,
Yeah, I guess
yeah.
we can start with the beginning. Essentially, I Sam is a character who is very different in society, and he, like I mentioned earlier, he's kind of like in house arrest in a way. And when I was originally doing this, it's because like this is a society that's very ordered, and so everything that's not specifically patterned, like okay, we know exactly how you work and every second at every day of the time, um is kind of considered weird. And so like when I was originally doing that, like first thing that kind of came to my mind was epilepsy, because my brother as a kid, he used to have epilepsy. And so I was like, oh, maybe I can bring that. And like at the time, Resilibee was also coming forming as like a studio that's like dedicated to representing and destigmatizing disability. And so I was like, that'd be really cool. But like my only experience with it was like when I was like really young and my brother was having seizures then. So I actually reached out to them, Epilepsy
Epilepsy
South Central
Substance.
Ontario.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got
and Carly helped teach me a lot about epilepsy. And like, so let me introduce Carly. Actually, she is the one of like the main people at Epilepsy South Central Ontario, and she is the youth empowerment ambassador.
Yeah, I do a lot here, but my main focus is our youth empowerment program. So, working with youth and young adults, because I am a child and youth worker in nature. That's what I studied and went to school for, and what I love to do. So, but I do wear a lot of different hats. So, that's one of my main roles. I also do epilepsy education in the community. So, schools, workplaces, pretty much anywhere that will have me talk about epilepsy, I will be there. I will give first aid training. I will, like, give educational sessions. We do the same for families. There's a lot. I actually have a kids camp as well that I run in the summer. So, yeah, I do wear a lot of hats, but mostly working with the younger folks, and that's kind of my role. We don't have anyone currently in our adult services, which has been a bit of a gap. I know if we've talked about a
Mm-hmm.
few of our struggles here at Epilepsy South Central Ontario, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of the gaps that we have and why I play so many roles. So I'm sure we'll probably talk more about that too. I don't want to, ramble into that too fast, but yeah, there's a lot that I do here, but yeah, youth and young adults are the main thing, and the kids as well. Education is usually where I narrow it down to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess like tell us a little bit about what epilepsy is and like the diversity of like the people and the types of seizures there are.
Oh, I would be more than happy to, of course. Yeah, so a lot of people think epilepsy is, the what you see on TV or, in the movies or what you may have heard. Usually people think of, falling to the floor and convulsing, which is actually a type of seizure that some people have, but not everybody has those types of seizures. And a lot of people don't actually know that. So there's a lot of misconceptions, a lot of myths, a lot of misrepresentation in the media. So that is actually one of the reasons why I was so happy you did reach out to me, because not a lot of people take the time to do that research, about say a character who has a certain disability, and to me that meant a lot. So I was so happy to give you more information about that. um,
Yeah.
yeah, but basically with epilepsy, it's quite a spectrum. So it can affect people in different ways, but ultimately, yeah, I'll start simple. I try and keep it as simple as possible when explaining it because it's a lot to take in.
Hmm.
But epilepsy, for the most part, is the name of the diagnosis. And to be diagnosed with epilepsy, you would have, yeah, you got it, two or more unprovoked seizures. So I always, after I say unprovoked, I stop and highlight that word because that is the key to kind of the epilepsy diagnosis, is that there's no other physiological reason. So I usually use diabetes as a good example of a provoked seizure. If the person's blood sugar is low, that's exactly why they've had a seizure. Or sometimes it could be other levels are off electrolytes. It could be in reaction to a medication or other substances in the body. There's actually many reasons why somebody would have a seizure. um,
Hmm.
I'm going to throw some stats out there, I guess, that 1 in 10 people will have a seizure in their lifetime. And I'll explain that a little more too, because I know, we only kind of know what we see and what we've heard.
Hmm.
But as I mentioned, there are a lot of different types of seizures. So
Hmm.
I'm happy to talk about that too,
Yeah.
as you mentioned.
That
So
is actually a really good segue into it because somebody asked like what kind of seizures like epilepsy does Sam have? And so I'd love for you to explain like the different types of epilepsy. I know like they recently changed a bit of the categorization. So
yeah, the terminology changes a lot, but I always kind of use, I'll tell people what the new term, and then kind of, you might also hear these terms as well. Um, so I guess we will start with the one that people typically think of when they think of epilepsy, where the person kind of, falls to the ground and shakes. That's what we call what a tonic-clonic seizure. Um, so with that one, I guess I feel like the reason why it's the most, known is because it's perhaps the most physical in nature in some senses, and it can maybe pose the most risk. So that's where we really highlight, seizure first aid. But what's really happening when anybody has a seizure, I guess we'll start there because that'll kind of help it make more sense as to what a seizure is. So a seizure is basically when in your brain, we have our neurons are working super hard all day long to send those messages from our brains to our body, just giving us messages, telling us what to do all day long. And then when somebody has epilepsy, it's basically, you know, uh, electrical disturbance, burst of
mhm,
electricity that kind of disrupts the messages that are being sent from, those neurons in the brain to the body. So it really depending again where in the brain it's happening will depend what the seizure looks like.
mhm,
There's two types. The one that I'll start with is the generalized seizures because again they're the most, I guess, portrayed. I don't want to say the
mhm,
most known. I'll use the word portrayed that I see more so in the media
mhm,
or in entertainment, is the tonic clonic. So it has two phases, which is interesting. People don't realize that some people can actually have just the tonic phase, so it's called the tonic seizure. But what's happening is in the tonic phase, the person's not muscles are
stiffening
going
of
really,
muscles.
yeah, I was going to use the word rigid, but stiffening is a better word. So they get really, really stiff and they get really tensed up. And at that time, they will lose consciousness and fall to the ground. And that's when the clonic phase will then take place, and that is where we see the convulsions, or what we know, is actually an electrical disturbance in the brain, telling what this part of our brain in the motor cortex that controls our hands and our arms and our legs and all of our movements. It's sending the wrong signals in the motor cortex. So, there's a lot of jerking of the limbs, the arms, the legs, and a lot of just shaky bodily, repetitive movements,
Mhm.
that the person is not in control of. So with generalized seizures, those are when the entire brain is affected. Sorry, not infected, affected. Um, Mouth is getting a little dry. Sorry. Um, so when the entire brain is affected, so that those miscommunications of the neurons are happening into the entire brain.
Mhm.
So that's why the person does not have any consciousness. They don't feel anything. They don't know what's happening. So, they just kind of wake up and have all these clues basically, that they just had a seizure. So,
Mhm.
um, there's just some very important steps that we can take to help people, be safe in those types of seizures. A lot of people think they're usually medical emergency. It's actually very rare that those types of seizures are medical emergency. Even when before I first started working here, I remember when I was in school, I saw my first, person having a tonic-clonic seizure. And the first thing I was told, call 911. And I was ready to go. And someone hung up the phone. Thankfully, her friend who knew more about it than
Mhm.
I did at the time and knew about her, and said, no, please don't. And now I totally get why. And we can talk about, yeah, that more as well.
Mhm.
Why, we don't always call an ambulance. But then with tonic clonic seizures, you might notice other things like, a lot of people call it foaming at the mouth. Really, I have kind of like a, sorry if anyone has a bit of a sensitive stomach, but I really use the analogy that it's really just saliva and it's just a little bit frothy. So if you can think of kind of like a latte where that milk has kind of been shaken up, it's
Mhm.
it's it's just saliva. So I try to, let people know that that's just what's happening. And because the movements are being made, it's kind of getting frothed up. And
Mhm.
so, it sounds scary to hear, oh, the person's foaming at the mouth. That's not
Mhm.
the case. I mean, technically it might be a descriptor, but what's really happening is excess saliva is produced. And if they're moving a lot, it can get foamy. So
Mhm.
that's part of, the first aid that we can also talk about too, of, putting the person on their side and why we do all those
Mhm.
kinds of things for those seizures. And then really interestingly enough, so there's the tonic-clonic seizure, which usually lasts about anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes. But then in the other side of the generalized category, which is pretty interesting, is what's called the absence seizure, which
Mhm.
is very, very abrupt. Almost never usually a medical emergency unless the
Mhm.
person is already engaged in, quite a dangerous activity already that
Mhm.
requires complete concentration. I wouldn't say that somebody with absence seizures would be able to drive, but for the most part it's never a medical emergency with an absence seizure, because in nature, by being labeled as an absence seizure, they're typically anywhere from 2 to 45 seconds long. So a lot of the time I tell people it's kind of like a little bit of a computer glitch in the person's brain. And a lot of people have actually explained to me that that's kind of what it feels like to
Mhm.
them when they experience it. A lot of people don't even know people are having them, which is really interesting. And I actually was working with, before I started working here, only for about a year longer than I've been working here. So 10 years there, 9 here. The little one that I was working with was having absence seizures, and I knew she had seizures. I was told, but again, I was expecting those, bodily, movements. So I would always notice these times where she would just kind of, speak. It looked like a blank stare, or that she was spacing out, or not really, not even responding. So I always like to use the example of kind of like daydreaming, especially
Mhm.
when I'm explaining it to kids as well, because then I can kind of explain that, well, if we're daydreaming, and I was like, hey, Carly, and someone were to tap my shoulder, you know, that would bring my attention back to whatever the person might have been talking about. Or if I am, distracted or unable to focus, usually, you know, tap on the shoulder, like I said, call their name, they're able to refocus. Where as an absence seizure, it looks a lot like they might be daydreaming, but the difference is they're not conscious, so they will not hear you, they will not feel anything. So you tap them on the shoulder, they're not going to feel it, they're not going to know that they
Mhm.
even had a seizure. A lot of the time, it's so abrupt that somebody might be in the middle of a conversation and take a 2-minute pause.
And
Yeah,
then
and then right back to what they were saying. So it can be so quick that even the person having it doesn't even realize that they've had them, that they're so
Mhm.
abrupt. So I always tell people, if you don't recognize those, or you don't, someone has them and you don't notice when you miss that one, I always say don't worry. Some people do like to record them for their neurologist, just to look at maybe
Mhm.
some patterns or some triggers as to when they might be more frequent. But especially with teachers too, I like to reassure them that you're not going to catch them all. There's no way. Sometimes they're so quick that you really can't tell. But those ones
Mhm.
have a bit of a risk of happening a lot, like many in a short period of time, unfortunately.
Mhm.
So that's when it starts to affect people more, is when they're very brief, but then they're having a lot in a short amount of time. Then, of course, you can imagine how confusing that might be if you feel like you're just missing bits and pieces of your day, a few seconds missing here, few there. Then it can start to get, probably, I'm imagining, quite overwhelming for the person experiencing those seizures. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, two quite very different looking seizures in the generalized category. Um,
Mhm.
one is, rarely a medical emergency. One is never a medical emergency. And again, I always say, unless the person's not doing anything super dangerous already. Um, I mean, I will not recommend this to anyone, but at our family and youth conference not too long ago, we go to a ranch every year. I actually remember one of my youth group members having one of those, not one, several of those types of seizures while horseback riding. And I am like, oh my goodness, my first thought is she's going to fall off the horse. So here I am ready to catch this, young woman, youth, and I'm ready to catch her. I'm like, oh my gosh, but I realized that it really is kind of like a blank stare. There's no loss of that muscle tone. The person is actually usually stands upright. They won't fall or
Mhm.
anything. If they're sitting, they'll remain sitting up. If they're standing, they'll remain standing. This person remained on the horse the entire ride. It was quite interesting, and the only issue was that the horse, she wasn't able to direct the horse, so the horse was getting confused, like where
Mhm.
am I going? So they were kind of freaking out. I'm like, we got this. So that's kind of what we hope to encompass with
Mhm.
Epilepsy Southern Ontario, that like this is normal for us, and hopefully it will be normal for everybody. Um, but there are, of course, more seizures that I'll talk about. There's over 40, so I don't think I'll have time to talk about them all. I don't think I could even name them all, probably, because some are actually so rare and I might not have dealt with them. But the other
Mhm.
two that are the most common, that um, you mentioned, I
Oh
think,
yeah.
briefly, are what are called focal seizures. So focal seizures, I like wordplay, so I always try and tell people, if they want to remember the word focal, try and think of focus. So it's focused in just one specific area of the brain and one
Mhm.
hemisphere. So it's always going to be in one specific, part of the brain. And for that person, each time that they have that focal seizure, it's going to start in the exact same part of the brain, and it's going to look the same for that person. So basically, the neurons are only sending mixed messages in that one localized area there, and the rest of the brain, those neurons are sending the messages perfectly correctly. So
Mhm.
the other functions aren't affected by focal seizures. So there are two types of focal seizures. I mean, of course, there's always an unknown onset if
Mhm.
neurologists or doctors aren't sure. So I always like to add that that's always that third category. Technically, there's always unknown, but for the most part, when they are known, we keep it under focal and generalized. So uh,
Mhm.
interestingly, there's a focal, what they call now, retained consciousness seizure.
Mhm.
And that's the one that's been changed oh so many times. The terminology has gone from, I believe, like complex partial to focal impaired awareness. And now, just recently, actually in 2025, the ILAE, the International
Just
League Against Epilepsy, changed the terminology again, and I do like it because when they change, the more they change it, I find the more descriptive it
Mm-hmm.
becomes. So now those, for example, they're not just looking at awareness, they're now looking at consciousness, because
Mm-hmm.
now they recognize that consciousness is made up of two things: awareness, but also responsiveness.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like that change because it really highlights that, there's two things that you got to look at when
Yeah.
looking at these types of seizures. So, the newest name for the ones where the person would remain aware would be focal with retained consciousness, or more, probably more still known as focal aware.
Yeah. I remember when reading through the website for Canadian Epilepsy Alliance, where like depending on where in the side of the brain, like where exactly in the brain your seizure happens, it kind of like you said, it looks different. So if it happens in like like the smell, the olfactory part of your brain, your seizure would start with you maybe smelling something off, or like if it starts in like your seeing side of the brain, and it's weird because it's opposite sides for like the thing, but you'd start seeing like little visual disturbances, or if it's like in your fingers parts, you're just like twitching of your fingers. So like seizures don't all look the same, and they're like as different as the people who have them.
Yeah, I actually like the way you said that. As different as the people who have them, because yeah, they, especially the with the focal seizures, they look so different. Again, like you said, depending where in the brain that it can happen, and we have many parts of our brain, so many areas that it can kind of attack and send that electrical burst of mixed activity. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're absolutely right. It manifests in so many different ways, especially the focal aware, focal retained consciousness seizures now called, um, because the interesting part is the person can actually explain to you exactly what happened to them, exactly what they felt intrinsically, or what was noticed on the outside, because they again are fully aware and able to communicate. You gave great examples of what might happen. It might be in our senses, smells that aren't there, sights that aren't there, hallucinations. Some people just, report like a funny feeling. Some people feel like deja vu, so like feeling like they've kind of dreamed this before, or they're in a memory, or the lesser known term, I think it's jamais vu, where things start
Jamais
to
vu.
become, yeah, things that are super, familiar to you start to become like unrecognizable.
Mm-hmm.
Some people even just say they have like like stomach butterflies, or like this what it's called, an epigastric rising sensation. Really, what we call butterflies in our stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's really different from person to person, or they'll feel it in their body. They'll get like a tingling sensation or pain sometimes in one part of the body, or uncontrolled movements in one part of the body.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they can say, "Hey, I'm having a seizure," and let you know. So, focal aware seizures are never a medical emergency, luckily.
Mm-hmm.
Um, However, the one example I love to give, because a lot of people don't think of as well, is that sometimes it can actually affect the communication part of the brain. So the person's speech might be affected. So they're still conscious, and they're able to formulate words in their brain. Those parts are all still working well. But as they go to speak, because the electrical disturbances in the speech part of the brain, it's as if nothing comes out. So they're able, a lot of people who know that they have those seizures, either they'll come up with, hand signals to let somebody know that it's happening. That's something I advise people a lot who have those types of seizures where their speech is affected. Or sometimes people can actually, grab a notepad and kind of write down, hey, I'm having a seizure. Or they
Mm-hmm.
just let it take its course. And then, if they need to tell somebody, they tell somebody. If not, they just kind of keep going on with their day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of people find, I think the visual disturbances are, I would say, people report to be the most, I guess, frightening, when they, especially
Mm-hmm.
when they don't know yet that they have, epilepsy or focal seizures. So they think, oh, well, there's must be other reasons this is happening, or they feel, I don't like to use the word, but I hear it a lot, they feel like they're going crazy, and then they finally see through testing, no, that's not the fact, that you actually have electrical activity in your brain that is causing this. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really great, that they're able to kind of
Mm-hmm.
define that for people. I hope that they're doing that with compassion.
Mm-hmm.
I know the neurologists I work with do. Hopefully, the
Uh,
rest
I
all
know
do.
neurologists who don't,
I know
but
some who don't as well. Um, that's why I don't work with them.
yeah.
Or they might just be far and I don't need to work with them. Um, but yeah, I always tell people, anyways, title title or not, they're all human. So
Mm-hmm.
there's good ones and bad ones in every profession. So you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna find them, some bad ones in everywhere.
Yeah.
But over here, we've got some pretty good ones. So I do stand by the few that I do know and that I know people see. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I am a rambler. So
Yeah.
if you guys ever want me
Uh,
to move along, please feel free to just let me know.
no, that
Um,
was great. I think I do
I,
have like a follow-up question. So
yeah.
we know that like seizures aren't like usually a medical emergency. So when is it? Does it become a medical emergency?
Yeah, I can answer that. I do want to just, I didn't finish answering the first question, so I just want to make
Oh
sure
yeah.
that I do that for that person who had asked the different types of seizures. I'll try
Mm-hmm.
and do it quick within respective time because I didn't realize how long I've been rambling. So the other type is, as you can guess, is focal seizures without retained consciousness, without
Mm-hmm.
consciousness. So again, focal in nature, only one part of the brain is being affected, but these seizures might need a little bit more first aid because the person is not at that time not aware of what's happening. So it's still
Mm-hmm.
focal, still in one area of the brain, but the person has no consciousness or their consciousness is impaired. So
Mm-hmm.
they're not may not be able to hear you, respond to you. They're not in control of what they're thinking. So sometimes this can look like somebody just wandering around. And usually when
Mm-hmm.
that happens, I just tell people, guide them away from danger, block some hazards, usually easily guidable. It look like, picking of the clothes, repetitive movements, twitching of the legs. A lot of the time it's in that motor strip of our brain. So
Mm-hmm.
people see movements. Sometimes people might go to talk and, what they're saying doesn't make sense at all because they're not conscious. So people might, unfortunately, a lot of the time mistake that type of seizure for, intoxication
Mm-hmm.
or, like a developmental disability, which, there needs to be more information on both. But that is one of the most unrecognized and under known seizure that can take place, and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people unfortunately, yeah, just mistake it for intoxication and don't
Yeah.
realize that this person is in a seizure and doesn't realize what they're doing. Those ones are a little bit longer, lasting anywhere from like
Mm-hmm.
3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, I've heard like sad stories about like people who are having these kind of seizures where like they end up getting like the cops called on them, and like I know that
Yeah.
there was this one story of this guy who got like really hurt or killed by the police while he was having a seizure, and the family was like, he's not intoxicated, he's having a seizure, please just listen to us. And
Was
because
that
of the
around here?
I don't remember where it was exactly. I just remember the story like hitting me, and I was like, "Ah, that's so like frustrating." It's like if only
Yeah.
there was like a little more awareness of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually interesting you that you mentioned that. We actually started a petition. Well, not we. Shout out to the Canadian Epilepsy Alliance. They created a petition for police training to be mandatory on epilepsy because it is not. That is a surprising fact. I will share with all of you
Hmm.
guys. So the police actually have an optional, um, I guess you would call them, like modules, learning modules online
Hmm.
that they can access. I believe they also may have to pay for them as well.
Hmm.
So there's not much of an incentive for them to really take these optional courses and pay for them.
Hmm.
So in I believe it was 2022, my colleague in friend from CA got this petition started to make it mandatory. So I
Mhm.
wouldn't mind. Can definitely share that with you if it's the Marcus Charles petition to make epilepsy police training mandatory. You can look on the CE website for anyone else who wants to look it up. I mean,
Mhm.
it's still alive and going. We did not yet get the amount of signatures that we'd hoped for. Um,
Mhm.
but I do know
Yeah.
that, yeah, this was a very brutal experience for that young man. Yeah, because
Mhm.
what had happened was he was actually at work. So leaving his place of employment where everybody knew he had epilepsy, his coworkers, everyone, really great guy, family guy, off finishing his shift, going home to his family, and had a impaired consciousness seizure. So where he looks aware, but is absolutely not aware at all what they're
Mhm.
doing, saying. So, if you're telling somebody to stop or freeze or, put their hands up, they're not conscious and they can't
Mhm.
hear you. So it was a very bad situation, actually, where they actually ended up tasing him. So,
Mhm.
as you can imagine, I just told you what epilepsy is, an electrical burst of activity in the brain. So
Mhm.
you would think to give somebody, a super other dose of an electric shock through the body
Not a
is
good
probably one of
idea.
the worst things you could do. Yeah, it was
Mhm.
awful. And they actually tried to charge that individual themselves with the injuries one of the officers sustained. Apparently, one of the officers sustained a concussion while trying to detain him while he's not conscious, or restrain is a better word. So I restrain him while he's
Mhm.
not conscious, and yeah, so that was pretty much all that came from all the work that CA did and all the law stuff. All that really came from that was that the charges were dismissed against the gentleman for abusing the police when he was not
Mm.
conscious, having a seizure, which should
That
have never happened
is,
in the first place. So
yeah,
we're still
that
trying to
is,
we're still trying to fight for justice there. I
mhm.
know, again, my colleague that Trevor, was working diligently all day trying to get that to be mandatory for all police. I know there's
Mhm.
also something called the vulnerable persons list that you can also be put on and explain to them your situation. And I also hear that they don't use that a lot. They don't check it. So for all
Mm.
we know, these people could be on that list and they're just not doing their due diligence to check, okay, is something else going on here? Or is it I'm just going to assume the worst?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, definitely send me the petition thing. If you need
Yeah,
more
of
signatures,
course.
I'll blast it out over here on my
Yeah,
end.
maybe we'll start getting that going because it kind of just died down after a while. And so yeah,
Mhm.
I'd love to get that circulating again. I was recently talking about it and sent it to someone else, so I'd be happy to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I do want to answer your question that you asked me though, because I started going on again. So when is a seizure a medical emergency? Very rarely, but typically it's when tonic-clonic seizures last longer than 5 minutes. So if you know somebody who has epilepsy, of course, it would not, if you don't know the person and they're a stranger, or, it's a first time seizure, we would always say call 911 right away because we don't know why it's happening. We would always want the first seizure, or if it's a stranger, you would just call. Some people might actually wear medical alert bracelets that let
Mhm.
you know they have epilepsy. But unless you were there from the beginning to end and were able to time it, you would want to call because then you don't know how long it had been going on until you might have found this person. So timing it
Mhm.
is very important. I will say always time the seizure as soon as you can. I always tell people to stay calm first because that kind of you know it seems silly to say, but I always tell people, like, if I think about when I'm anxious, I forget the simplest things. I forget
Mhm.
all about me. I forget everything I've ever known when I get anxious or I'm panicking. So I always tell people that, it's great to have this information ahead of time so that when you may feel that panic, you know what to do and you don't kind of forget. So that's one of the biggest ones is if the tonic-clonic seizure lasts 5 minutes. It is different for some. Some might have a lower time. And that may be due to just other, conditions they have. So for example, I know one of my kiddos that I work with has every time that they do have a seizure, their oxygen level goes dangerously low and they need to just be checked up. So they
Mhm.
unfortunately do have to go every time. And the neurologist or epileptologist will ultimately it'll be at their discretion as to when an ambulance would be called. But
Mhm.
whenever tell people, if you don't have a plan of care for somebody, always use that 5-minute mark. If you ever get a number that's lower from the person, use that. Always go lower if given, never go higher. If it
Mhm.
hits 5 minutes, just call. And if you're unsure, just call. Better safe than sorry. The person, worst case, it is really, frustrating sometimes when the person might, have already recovered from the seizure and then has to be taken by the ambulance. But realistically, I always tell people, if you're unsure, call. Um,
Mhm.
but I mean, or you can also take more time because I know I'm not going to be here forever to learn more about what to
Mhm.
do and how to keep people safe. Um, Other instances, mostly, I guess you would say in adults, would be like if someone was pregnant,
Mhm.
especially if somebody has diabetes. So I always use that as my example of a provoked seizure. So if somebody were to have both epilepsy and diabetes, we don't know which one's going to be causing that seizure at that time, and we don't know how to find out in time. So we're just going to call right away in case it is the diabetes.
Mhm.
Um, Usually, if somebody's in water, so if the seizure happens in water, even if the person kind of is like, no, I'm fine, like they've regained consciousness, you always want to get it checked because you never know if a little bit of, water did sneak into the lungs during that
Mhm.
seizure. There's always kind of that risk later.
Mhm.
Um, and then for most people with epilepsy, kiddos and adults included, would be if somebody's having a seizure back to back where they actually don't recover in between.
Mhm.
So that would be known
Okay.
as a cluster seizure. Yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned this earlier, and it's probably best if like people look this up, but like recovery position.
Yeah, so it's actually really simple. I can tell you exactly what that means. So really all you want to do when somebody's having, a tonic-clonic seizure is you just want to put them on their side. So it's easiest to kind of, use one arm and a leg to kind of gently roll them over to one side. Either side is fine. You also want to make sure that you put that, most importantly, the person's head to the side. And if we also ask that you cushion the person's head. So really finding anything soft, even if you can just grab like a sweater, a scarf, or anything that you can put on the person's head. Because as you can imagine, they're kind of, doing a workout that their body's not conscious for, and their head's also there. So if it's going to be hitting the ground a lot, you want to kind of cushion that impact so that they don't,
Mhm.
injure themselves on their head. And yeah, it's really just turning the person over to their side, making sure that hopefully the entire body with the arm. But a lot of the time I tell people if the person is a lot larger than you and you can't get the whole body over to the side, always make sure the head is to the side, first and foremost.
Mhm.
And that for that reason there's quite a few, one being if anything comes out. So like I mentioned, the person might have excess saliva at that time and we don't want them to choke. We want that to be able to exit the body in the mouth.
Mhm.
So that's one of the reasons. Another reason is because some people might actually vomit during a tonic-clonic seizure. Not everybody. I don't think I've actually ever seen it happen, but I hear people tell me that this happened to them. So that it is possible, not always the case. And it is also possible sometimes that the person might lose bladder bowel control. Um, I'll throw that in there too because that can also sometimes happen. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's really just protecting the head, making sure they're on their side. And also another reason for that is to make sure like their airways are clear. So we want
Mhm.
to make sure that, the breathing isn't obstructed. So you want to, if they're wearing, like something restraining like a scarf or a high sweater, just kind of, unzip the sweater a little bit or take off the scarf. So there's nothing
Mhm.
kind of,
Yeah,
around the
and
neck.
it also goes into the fact that like if somebody's having a seizure, do not put anything in their mouth.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is the most interesting myth I hear. I mean, I did hear it as a kid, and now I look back and I'm like, where did this make sense to anybody? So the reason behind that was because people used to believe you could swallow your tongue during a seizure. So whenever I give any type of presentation, I actually invite people to try it. So if you're sitting there right now, I invite you to try and swallow your tongue. It's not possible. I mean, I tell people that unfortunately, in some cases, the person might bite their tongue in the case of a seizure. Unfortunately, that does happen. But you cannot choke on your tongue or swallow your tongue. So that's just a myth that has kind of been passed down where people don't even really know the origin, but they just kind of hear it and think about it. So we always, yeah, try and bust that myth and tell people do not put anything in their mouth because their jaw is going to be super tightly clenched. So if you
Mhm.
do, danger for you, you might lose a finger, danger for them, you could break a tooth or a jaw. Because, yeah, trying to get that jaw unclenched is going to be really tough because the person's not conscious during that time. So they're not going to help you. And they might, again,
Mhm.
bite your finger off because they're not
Yeah.
conscious.
Yeah. They're saying that they cannot swallow their tongue.
Yeah. I figured nobody here had swallowed their tongue. I was pretty confident.
Yeah, I have some questions here. Like,
Mhm.
um, is epilepsy genetic? Can it be genetic?
That's a good question. It can be, but it isn't always. So there are some genetic mutation forms of epilepsy. So I don't know a lot of them. I guess I only know some of the ones that clients I work with. So one of them is like with the SCN1A gene. So um, yes, there are some epilepsies that are genetic, uh, but over 50% of people who have epilepsy don't know why they have it. So they can't figure out the cause. So for the little less than 50%, that is one of the reasons why someone might have it. I also tell people that if you have a history of epilepsy or seizures in your family, it does make you more likely or more at risk to develop epilepsy, but it's not necessarily hereditary. So it doesn't mean, if somebody who has epilepsy as a child, the child's going to have epilepsy. That's not the case. It's just, like they say in some of those routine appointments, any history of, heart disease, cancer, and that's really just
Mhm.
to figure out if you're at risk of these things at any point in your life. So
Mhm.
yeah, so yes and no. It
Mhm.
can be for some people.
All right, I'll leave this question for the end of it, which is like, but I'm gonna ask this question that I completely forgot. Um, so like, does your organization have a website, and where can they learn more about epilepsy? If you.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that question. So if you want to head over to Epilepsy SCO for some, sorry about that. I don't know if you hear the construction in the background. So it's Epilepsy SCO for South Central Ontario.org, or um, you are welcome to check out our website. You're welcome to email me if you have any questions. You can call us at 905 That's also on our website. If you have any questions or want any more resources about epilepsy.
I'll also link in the post after this stream is done. I'll link
Awesome. Perfect. Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know the inner workings of
it.
streaming, so I wasn't sure of your capabilities. So if you can do that, please, yeah, if you can
Yeah.
share our website. We're also on social media. If you want to give us a follow, on Facebook, just as our name, Epilepsy South Central Ontario. I've been told not many people use Facebook anymore, but me. That's what my clients are telling me. We have an Instagram. Apparently, that's a little more popular. It's epilepsy.sco. That's the handle.
Mhm.
And I believe we also have, LinkedIn. We have a TikTok, I believe, as well. Um, I don't handle that. I work with the people, so I have a lovely colleague Trevor who handles all the social media stuff. So whatever you're on, please give us a follow at Epilepsy South Central Ontario. There's a lot of other organizations, so I highlight South Central Ontario because there's I think 14 of us under the Epilepsy Ontario uh, umbrella, and that's just by location. So we are the biggest organization actually. We're two that became one, so we have the
Mhm.
largest client base here at what we
Mhm.
call ESCO for short.
Yeah. Your construction.
You do
But
hear it? Sorry.
yeah, that's right. Um, I guess what triggers a seizure?
So that's really interesting. That's a great question too. A lot of people, their first thought, oh, I know the answer to that, and they think flashing lights. I want to let people know first off, and not necessarily everyone in the audience. I just mean just in general. That's just what people. think, oh, flashing lights, of course, that's what triggers seizures. That is the case for about 3 to 5% people with epilepsy. That's what's called photosensitive epilepsy. So even though it's a small percentage, when you really think about how many people have epilepsy, which is 1 in 100 people, that's actually a large number of people, even though it's a small percentage. So it's a small percentage of a very large amount of people. Um, so sorry, the construction's behind me. I want to kind of derailed my train of thought.
um,
That happens.
small amount of people with
Triggers.
photosensitivities.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. Train
Wow.
got back on track. So yeah, the triggers are really different from person to person. There are ones that are common. So the most common ones are lack of sleep or not enough sleep. So sleep and
Hello.
sleep hygiene. So not just sleeping enough, but getting good sleep, quality sleep. So that is one of the biggest triggers is not good sleep,
Hmm.
stress, any type of emotional upset. So a lot of people think that's just, of course, the main go-tos that we deal with of like stress
Hmm.
and anxiety. So I also like to add that excitement is unfortunately in that category too. So some people can't get too excited. They have to kind of do, stress relief techniques when they get
Hmm.
excited, just because they don't want to trigger a seizure for them.
Yeah. I
And then a lot.
remember there when I met with your youth advocacy group. I remember this, and it stuck with me. Like one of your kids were telling me how one of their friends, uh, their seizures were triggered by Mountain Dew.
Yeah, so probably a certain chemical or a
Yeah.
scent used in there, or a dye. I find a lot of people are with epilepsy are really sensitive to dye, but a lot of time
Hmm.
also sugar, or like I know aspartame is really bad. It's like
Hmm.
it can trigger for not for everyone, of course, but a lot of people are told to avoid aspartame. Another big one is like temperature, and I always say that in two ways. So fever or illness, if somebody has a fever, really high chance they're going to have a seizure.
Hmm.
There's also something called febrile seizures, which is literally just a seizure caused by a fever, which happens a lot in babies. So they wouldn't be given a diagnosis of epilepsy because almost all babies go through a febrile seizure in their infancy, but again only provoked by a fever.
Hmm.
But also in people with epilepsy, that can also be a trigger for one of their seizures. Um, that there's so many, it's really hard to pinpoint. So I always try and keep it to the most common ones. One of them a lot too is any kind of hormonal changes. So there's something called catamenial epilepsy or catamenial seizures where um, uh, somebody who has a menstrual cycle, they either have double the seizures during the time of menstruation, or their seizures double during ovulation. It's either one or the other for the person. um,
Hmm.
so that's another factor. So a lot of the time, for especially for kids who are growing up and going through puberty, that's a big time where seizures can change and look different for them, and they can start
Hmm.
having a lot more of them. So really any hormonal aspect as well. um, some people are, again, yeah, triggered by very specific things. So some people have to stay away from sugar, or um,
Hmm.
video games sometimes, or like staying on screen time too long. It's really
Hmm.
person to person, and I always tell people the best way to find your triggers is to keep a seizure record or seizure pattern diary, where
Hmm.
you're kind of listing what happened, what kind of seizure you had, and what else what are the before and afters of that day, or more of the befores,
Hmm.
and then if you kind of look, okay, well, I was very tired that day, then might see a pattern. Oh, okay, many days I wrote I was tired, or I wrote that I was hungry, or people are
Hmm.
sometimes able to figure out their patterns, but for some people, unfortunately, there are no triggers and they just happen. So there's
Hmm.
no way to tell. They just kind of
Yeah.
burst.
So I have a question here.
Yeah.
How do people adapt their lives to this new thing? Like how how does life continue after developing epilepsy? What how do like people learn to like advocate for themselves? How do people like I'm losing words for it, but basically like how do you learn to like coexist with this disorder?
Yeah, so a lot of the time, that's a great question because a lot of the time people are just kind of, given a diagnosis, given a medication, and, I'll see you in 6 months. Let me know how the medication worked. And then they're kind of, honestly, not to sugarcoat it, they're just lost. They don't know what to do with themselves, they don't know where to go. And a lot of people don't know that we exist, which is what, we try and, advocate for, for why we need to exist and why doctors need to be, or neurologists and epileptologists need to be referring people to agencies like Epilepsy South Central Ontario, because we recognize that it's a very long journey. It's a
Mhm.
daunting process. It's something the whole family goes through. Nobody just adapts just like that. It takes a
Mhm.
lot of, acceptance, a lot of, retraining your thoughts, a lot of dealing with loss. So, some people who have, for example, been driving their whole life and then they have a seizure and get their license taken away. Like that can be, one of the really difficult things to deal with, or,
Mhm.
I was going to say in teen years, but really any age, just the stigma, you know, the misinformation, or just people, having negative misconceptions about, epilepsy and seizures. And
Mhm.
it, there's just so many ways that it affects someone's life, like especially in school. Like it can affect their learning, it can affect their job. And I see that potentially, I mean, not again, it's such a spectrum of how it affects people. But really that's where I see the biggest,
Mhm.
um, hardships. Also socially as well, people, get this diagnosis, they finally know what's going on, and then they tell their friends and they think, okay, they're going to be supportive and they're going to be there for me, and then they kind of figure out, find that they start to slowly fade away and people are busy, and
Mhm.
they can't make it to hang out with that person alone. And some of it comes from fear, some of it comes from ignorance. Regardless, it still is really hard for the person dealing with it on the other end.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's a lot that people, have to kind of accept and also adapt to, to kind of, live their life, both, with now considering they're controlling their seizures as, a higher priority in their life, and, maybe prioritizing their health a little bit more. And yeah, I feel like it a person's journey never really ends. Like, even if they're seizure free, even if they have a time where they don't have seizures, there's a lot of other ways that epilepsy can affect people as well. I always like to talk about like medication side effects as well. So if someone might be seizure free, which is great, but that might be due to a medication that's actually giving them
Mhm.
some pretty crappy side effects. So it's always a pros and cons thing. And the first part of it is usually the hardest, I'd say, is when they are giving that diagnosis and told to try medication and come back. And that's where we hope to meet people, and that's where we
Mhm.
hope to help people and connect them so they know that they are not alone, that we here as ASPA staff might not be the experts in the sense of living with it, but we are here to connect people, and we are here to empower people, and we are here to educate people, because the neurologist and the epileptologist, they don't have time for that. And it's
Mhm.
just, it is what it is. It's not a negative or a positive, it's just that's the case. We have a shortage of neurologists. We barely have any epileptologists. That's a very rare specialty. The ones we do have are great, but they can only do so much. So
Mhm.
yeah, even just the wait lists are a big thing too. Like you're like waiting on just to get answers. So I
Mhm.
always say it's a long journey and it can change at any time, but we just try and make sure people do feel supported and know that they're not alone, and hopefully get them connected to, like I mentioned, the resource side. So what we can provide as staff, like myself, like education resources, but then again, I really, most important, that social connection to people who get it. Like
Mhm.
no two stories might be the same, but I've heard, so like the best words I hear in my support group the other day was someone saying, wow, I've never said that out loud to anyone before. They had said when I had a seizure and continued a story, and at the end, and they're like, wow, that's the first time I've ever said that out loud. And they just felt so, it felt like I could see like that relief, and they're like, oh, that just felt so good.
Mm.
And so hopefully, there's, like I mentioned, 14 organizations across Ontario. So like ESCO, there's other organizations for people who might want to learn more. If aren't in the South Central area. I would also recommend maybe going on to epilepsyontario.org to find out what your local epilepsy agency is. If you would want to support them in any way, I will add we do not get government funding at all.
Yeah.
So that's why we're a lot of the time relying on, kind donations. We do our own fundraising. So we have a really cool event that we have coming up in April, our
Called the
Aloha
Purple
Vegas
Gala.
event. Yeah, so it was called the Purple Gala. I still call it that, and I'm trying to get out of the habit because now we've rebranded. So it's the Gala for over a decade. It's now, we found a theme that kind of worked, so we're sticking with it. It's Aloha Vegas. So that's coming up soon. That's a great way to support and come out and have fun.
Hmm.
Um, we all, I'm trying to think. Yeah, spread the word if you don't mind as well. A lot of people don't know what they don't know, and find, just when they hear that, find it shocking. I'm hoping all of you find it quite shocking and
Mm.
absurd. That's the
Yeah.
word I'll use. That we
Yeah,
do not.
especially
It
like
is
that you don't get
absurd.
funding.
Yeah, and so we have a great CEO who is like a million people in one, who's always writing grants and always like looking for sponsorships. Same with our, media relations person, always sending out sponsorship packages. So we're putting the fishing wheel out, but we can only get as many bites as there are fish.
Hmm.
So we do also rely on, donations and sponsorships.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're
We
quite a
have a
small team.
yeah, you guys are quite a small team. Three of you guys, I think, right?
Yeah, we've gone down from a larger team. It's the three of us, and then we also have a great guy, Steve, who actually has taken over our adult peer support group virtually, but we don't have anyone fully in adult services at the moment
Hmm.
now.
I have a question here for you. Is it possible to
Yeah.
have two or more unprovoked seizures and not develop epilepsy? Um,
Uh, no, I would say not, because that is the exact definition of epilepsy. I would say it's possible to have two provoked seizures and not develop epilepsy. I mean, if you don't go to the get the test, you don't get the diagnosis. You don't have the diagnosis, but it doesn't mean it's not there. If that makes sense.
mhm.
I hope
Yeah,
that I explained that in the right way. I don't know if
yeah, I
that
think
was the
that
best way
does.
to explain
So
that. Like, I mean,
epilepsy is defined as two unprovoked seizures, or I think there's also the other one where it's like one unprovoked seizure with the very high likelihood of having another one unprovoked.
Yeah, so if they have what's called an EEG, an electroencephalogram, basically where the wires are, glued to the head, and they're able to kind of see the activity. If they're more than 60% likely to have a seizure, they would see what's called epileptiform activity. So some people actually without epilepsy have epileptiform activity, but it's not enough to cause a seizure. So
Hmm.
if somebody has had a seizure but they're able to see kind of that activity that's in the brain that's not quite enough to cause a seizure, but they've already had an unprovoked seizure, they would of course want to start them on an anti-seizure medication right away.
Hmm.
But yeah, a lot of the time it's unfortunate to say that, yeah, sometimes people do have one unprovoked seizure, and then they get seen, and then they say, well, we can't really diagnose you yet because you haven't had two, and we don't know yet if you're likely to have another.
Hmm. Um, there was a question from Jordan here. How do people with epilepsy function in their daily life, and how is that different compared to people without epilepsy?
That's a great question. Some people, you could never even guess that they have epilepsy. There are, teachers, there are people who work at banks, and there are, the president or past president of the Canadian Epilepsy Alliance. There are people that you wouldn't even imagine have epilepsy and live, lives. I am a rap fan. I don't know if anyone is here, but I love Lil Wayne. He has epilepsy, so I always use him as like my, example, especially for the kids. They know him too. Um, so, um, yeah, sorry, my training derails sometimes. What
Don't worry.
was the exact question again?
How is it differ from? How does life with epilepsy differ from life
Perfect.
without?
Yeah, so I would say that really depends on how many seizures the person's having, what type of seizure they're having, and the frequency and duration. So that would really determine how it affects their life. So if people do find control in medication, typically it does not affect their life at all, other than maybe the medication side effects. If people are having frequent seizures, that'll of course start to affect, aspects like school and work, because they'll be perhaps missing it, or maybe the environments that they're in don't understand yet what to do, so they're sent home when they don't really need to be. um, so some people have comorbid conditions where, there's a lot of the time where epilepsy is very highly comorbid with intellectual disabilities and developmental delays, sometimes also autism spectrum disorder. So um, it's really, yeah, I always say every person with epilepsy is super unique, and it's really hard to compare because it can affect somebody very much so, and some people say it doesn't affect them at all. So it's a vast spectrum. Some people who
Mm-hmm.
do have them frequently and often are highly affected, and I'd say the biggest thing that comes from that would be self isolation and even just social isolation. Again, I mentioned people, kind of losing friends or friends drifting
Mm-hmm.
away. Some people might actually, decide to isolate themselves because they start to get this anxiety of, what happens if I have a seizure? What are people going to think? What are
Mm-hmm.
people going to do? I don't want to tell anyone. So, it's like fear of having the seizure, but and then it's also, oh, but I'm supposed to reduce stress. So, how do I get rid of the anxiety of having a seizure? But then, manage my anxiety. So sometimes it can be a vicious cycle for the person living with it. And I try not
Mm-hmm.
to sugarcoat it. It can sometimes get really hard to deal with for some people. And
Yeah.
again, I find just, managing seizures comes first. So I always try to recommend, pattern finding or trigger finding, so you can eliminate the amount of seizures that the person's having. And medication compliance is the big thing. A lot of people think it's okay if I miss a dose, or, I forget here and there. So I really try and, let people know that even just, one missed dose is very, you could be likely to trigger a seizure. So it's really hard for people sometimes to, keep up with the medication adherence, especially if they're on a lot of meds, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So it's just, yeah, I feel like I could keep listing things, but
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of the things that you probably could think of, they could happen, and many more.
Yeah. So I guess now, so like, since we're kind of ending up our hour here with you, I guess let's see like actionable stuff. Like, what can we do to help people with epilepsy in their daily lives? Like, how can we help you guys? How is how do those without epilepsy can help those with epilepsy?
Yeah, that's my favorite questions. So I would say just don't underestimate us. Anyone with epilepsy is usually my first answer to that question, because we kind of already question kind of already answered this question, because that's kind of one of my main points. Is, I always tell people, there are people with epilepsy have such a vast range of abilities, interests, capabilities. So never underestimate somebody with epilepsy. If you whether somebody with epilepsy or don't, kind of, you know, make a mindful note to, educate others and just tell them a little bit about it. Or if you do know somebody with epilepsy, maybe just be that person that they can feel normal talking about it to. Or,
Mhm.
maybe you can bring it up and, start that conversation if they might be a little bit too shy. Our website does have, quite a lot of information about epilepsy and living with epilepsy. I'll shout it out again, epilepsysco.org. That's a great place to start, and there's a lot of information there.
Mhm.
Also on there is my email address should you want to reach out. I'm happy to answer any questions on anything that you might find on there. Also, there's quite a few ways I guess you could support us. I already mentioned one. Our If you're, I don't know how wide your audience spread is, but if you're around the Mississauga area, that's where our office is, and not so far from there, we'll be having our Aloha Vegas event on April 11th. So that's a great way to support and come out. It's such a fun night. There's gaming, as it's exactly as it thinks. It's half Vegas, half Aloha, Hawaiian style. So you can come either way, dressed up. And that is one of our staple fundraisers for our Sunny Days Camp for Kids that I manage in July and August. And again, on our website, there's options where you can either if you're able to make a donation, that's great. I know not everyone is in that position, but if you could just spread the word that we don't receive any government funding and that every dollar donation does count, and if you don't mind, spreading more information that we exist and what we do, I think just raising awareness would be the most helpful.
Mhm.
We rely on donations and grants and sponsorships to stay alive, but I do know not everyone in the average public has the ability to be a sponsor or fundraiser. So um,
Mhm.
if you want to take that on, please reach out. I'm always happy to connect, but of course, this is more for informational purposes, so I don't want to make this an infomercial or of any kind. I want to make sure it's, of course, for educational purposes, but we are
Mhm.
always accepting any type of donation through our website. Some people like to make Facebook fundraisers. I know a lot of our youth do that during March, because March right now is Epilepsy Awareness Month, and on the 26th is Purple Day. So I'm
Mhm.
actually packaging up right now. If you guys can see them, a bunch of purple ribbons that are, oh, sorry, glue gun fuzz, um, that are youth made. I am just kind of packaging them up. So those will be sent to schools for Purple Day. They love celebrating in schools, especially when the child has epilepsy. That's a great way to support us. If you want to learn more about Purple Day, you can just go to purpleday.org, or our website has more information on it too. Even if it's just, wearing purple and spreading awareness on that day, that would, every step towards awareness counts for us as well.
Mhm. I guess last question. What is Purple Day? Since that came up.
Oh, sorry if I kind of. Well, actually, great way I segued into that. Yeah. So, Purple Day, I'll tell you guys a little bit about how it started and what it looks like now. So, in 2008, I believe I have yeah, 2008 in Nova Scotia. Young girl, Cassidy Megan is her name. She was 9 years old at the time. Was dealing with epilepsy, dealing with a lot of bullying, a lot of that isolation, a lot of troubles with school, not with teachers not understanding as well. So she had this idea where she wanted to have people come together to spread awareness about epilepsy and what it's like living with it. So what she thought was the start of a small grassroots project became international, actually. So yeah, started with the idea from 9-year-old Cassidy Megan at the time in 2008. And then there's a foundation called the Anita Kaufman Foundation that actually partnered up with Cassidy Megan. And so they provided, of course, the funding and everything and all of the resources. She's more so the founder and face.
Mhm.
She is now 23. She's no longer that 9-year old, but she's still a great epilepsy advocate. She does a lot, about epilepsy. We got the chance to meet her, luckily, in I believe 2022, which was so wonderful. So yeah, if you head to either our website or purpleday.org, it's really just a day of epilepsy awareness, um, and it's actually starting in Nova Scotia and through Canada, and now known internationally, which is amazing.
Mhm. Yeah, that is amazing. So I guess that shall be our hour. But thank you so much, Carly, for coming and talking to
My
us about
pleasure.
this.
Thank
Like,
you for having me, and I apologize if I went over. You know me, I'm a bit of a chatterbox, and I'm quite passionate about this, so I could
you
talk about
know,
it forever.
it was amazing. Thank you so much. And I'm sure like a lot of people here were very like oh my god, like there's like that many kinds of seizures and yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Our brains are very interesting things.
Mhm. Yeah. And yeah, they're like I've been like reading the comments of people leaving behind, and it's like everybody was just like this is like really awesome thing to learn about because it's
Oh, that
definitely
makes
not
me so
something that
happy.
people learn about often. And
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things you just don't know until it happens to you, kind of thing.
mhm.
Like I'd
Yeah.
heard even beforehand, like I kind of didn't anecdotally told my first story of how when I saw a seizure, I had kind of heard of epilepsy, but I honestly didn't know exactly what she was talking about when she hung up that phone and said, "Don't call." You know, little me in
Mhm.
college never dealt with epilepsy before, so of course I ran to pick up the phone when I hear call 911. She's having a seizure. I didn't know that. I thought it was medical emergency. So
Mhm.
yeah, I learned. I've been here I think 9 years, and I learn every day. So that's why I'm so passionate about it because there's always just so much more to learn.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
love
like
teaching others.
yeah. Thank you so much, and like also thank you from me directly to you as well for like teaching me about epilepsy and all that time ago, and like I'm still learning every day about it, and I'm really thankful for like you guys taking me under your wing and teaching me about it.
Oh, we appreciate you so much, and it's very refreshing the way that you came about and met us. So thank you for actually doing, great research on, you know, first just starting off with Sam, the character, but also, once you learned, kind of what we're going through and what's happening, I appreciate your support as well because, you kind of stuck around too, not just for, the informative side, but yeah, you've become quite important to us. So thanks a lot, and thanks for having me. Thanks to the audience for listening to me ramble. If you do have questions, again, they can either forward them to you, and you can funnel them to me, or
Hmm.
hop on our website, like I mentioned.
Yeah, and I'll link everything so like they can get to you easily and stuff like that. But yeah,
Oh,
thank you so much, and
my
yeah,
pleasure. We'll be in touch.
we will.
Okay, awesome. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, let me just bring you guys back in here and window capture done. All right, and that was Carly, guys. Yeah, she's awesome.
Sweet. That was really
Uh,
good.
yeah, yeah, it was. Uh, I Fun fact: I am actually going to the Alola Vegas thing. I am
Oh, cool.
volunteering,
Ooh.
but yeah, it's it's it was very informative, and I'm really glad that Carly was able to talk with us today.
Yeah, I got to learn a whole lot about epilepsy that I didn't before, so. Oh,
I came in near the end, but I also learned a little bit. I can go and learn more too.
Kaylin, you good?
good.
How long did you have me muted for? It was like I was suffocating.
Hey, Kaylin. Also, everybody, welcome. I always go the wrong way. Welcome, Urchins. Who
Ah.
is she is the voice actor for Sam.
Hello.
So you guys met
Hello,
like
hello, hello.
three of the four main voice actors now. Woo!
Sweet. Now we just need celery to come by.
Yeah, we need Celery to come by and say hi. But yeah, I will link everything in the stuff, but I guess
That would be
um that is basically our stream agenda done for today. We can probably chill for a little bit more, but I'll say hard stop at 2:30, but yeah. Thank you guys all for sticking by. I noticed that our like concurrent like user thing has been pretty consistent throughout the whole stream, and so I'm glad you guys stuck around for the epilepsy awareness part of our stream.
I've been trying my best to keep them entertained for you, so that they'd listen at least.
Thank you, Kaylin.
Thank you.
Bald chaos.
What do you
Well,
mean, Paul Kate? You've been drawn this entire time?
Yes.
oh my gosh, I see it. Can I put it up?
Please put it up. I want to see it too.
Oh Lord, please. Oh Lord, please. Oh, oh
Gotta ask
Lord,
permission
please.
first, but
Oh
uh
Lord,
will you
please.
be okay with me putting up Ball Chaos Smack?
Apparently, people want to see the ball chaos.
And by
Come
people, I
on.
mean me.
I mean, this is your. I mean, this is your character, Piff. I'm not necessarily sure.
Oh, they said yep.
Yep,
Yep.
yep.
I'm
Okay.
just a.
Yep.
I'm just a voice you selected for this role.
And a very good voice at that.
Thank you,
You,
baby.
you guys are amazing voice actors.
Very talented.
Yeah. I just need
I'm
to.
so sorry for being late.
No problem.
I have family over right now, so it's just kind of like busy.
Yeah, well, that's no problem. I'm glad you were able to drop by anyways.
Mm-hmm.
We were just like having like a chat for the most part.
Yeah.
They were pelting me with baguettes and bagels.
Baguettes.
We're moving to bagels now.
Why?
Evolving. It's evolving
Evolving.
back.
There's Bald Chaos.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Why?
Chaos. What did they do to you?
Why? It sucks that I'm a bald black man. That makes this even worse.
Beautiful.
Bald.
Bald! Bald!
My eyes! My eyes!
Yeah.
Rise!
But yeah. You guys
This
are all
is a
awesome.
really good. This is a really good
I really like
drawing.
it. Yeah.
This is a really good drawing.
It is a good drawing.
Who made that? It was Max?
Maxo
Or
5, yeah.
Maxo5.
Thank you,
Amazing
Max.
drawing.
That was lovely.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh, we bumped up. Hello, people. We are.
I shared the stream link with a couple servers of mine.
Oh, I was like, we bumped by like 2 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, people. But yeah. You did catch us at the end of our stream.
Yeah. My bad.
But yeah. It was a good stream. You guys
Oh my
are.
goodness. We bumped from 9 to 12. Holy cow.
Yeah, we did. And then back to
Now
10. Very.
viral.
We're viral. But yeah. All right. Thank you guys for joining us in the stream, and thank you to our cast over here for joining us as well. We all know that I am very awkward at starting and stopping things, so
We could just never stop.
yeah, we could just never stop.
Keep the train going.
We could push it to 3,
Push it
and
to
then
I'm gonna
from
three.
want to have a
Yeah.
discussion.
and then
I'm
4.
going. I'm gonna need to have a discussion about hey y'all pelting me with so many bagels, so many baguettes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got
Ow!
okay.
I'm glad you guys learned a lot. That was the goal.
They learned how to pelt me with baguettes.
I'm glad they held their fire during the talk. That was very
Yeah.
polite of them
That
too.
was that was very polite of you guys. Thank you guys
At least they did that.
for
At least
listening
they
to it.
did that.
And for those of you who came in a little later, it is going to be saved on our YouTube, so you will be able to watch again if you want to. And I will link everything in a post on our community tab.
Nice.
But yeah. That-
Oh God! Now that they know that I'm bald, like it's never gonna stop.
it's never going to stop.
It's never gonna
They're
stop.
calling you bald. Oh no.
Bald, bald.
My eyes.
All right. It's
I
coming up
should
to the
go.
time. Bye,
I should go.
guys.
Thank
But
y'all for coming.
chaos needs a cup of
Thank
coffee.
you.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.